Experience the magic, the pageantry, the beauty, which is the very last Hack City comedy show of 2025 and maybe ever. It's happening this Friday, December 12th, 7:30 p.m. at Union Hall in Brooklyn. Just go to asiannotasianpod.com for tickets or Google Hack City Comedy. I have from a good source that Jenny will be doing her first ever stand-up comedy set this Friday, so come on out December 12th.
And I see it, like, I've been in writers' rooms where, like, you know, when the chemistry's right, I'm doing my thing, but, like, I've been in rooms where, like, I let people, like, dim my light, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's like really, you feel so unfunny, and you're like, what the fuck? Do I not know how to do this, you know? But, like, but that's comedy. You can't do that because they hired you to do your thing.
Okay. Well, as you can see from the chaotic energy, we got a special guest. Welcome to the Asian Not Asian podcast with all your favorite Asian friends. The closing remarks of this long-running podcast. This is the long goodbye, part 3. I think. Part 3. Yeah, part 3. We've had a live show. We had me and Jenny, and then we have our special guest. We probably have one more. I think contractually I will need to have one more, but and then after that, it's off into the sunset. Yeah, that's how it is. We're just gonna jump right into it because you guys know who it is. This guy owns a Prius. Okay, he
still running.
He's got a beautiful silver wisp of hair now. Okay, which is fast becoming what he's known for in the comedy world. Yeah, his little slash of hair, and he used to be the co-host of this podcast. Give it up for Fumi Abe, y'all.
Woo! What's up?
What's up?
Good to be back. Good to be back, man.
You were just on, but you know what? I had to do it to them.
You know, someone came to my show in Austin because of that episode. People still come out, man. Don't forget.
People still come out.
You know, you guys, you like to shit on this podcast as a comedy, but don't forget, this has a lot of reach, and I swear to God, people still come from this podcast, which I have not, really been a part of for, like 3 years or something. Yeah. 3-4 years. So it's a very powerful thing you guys are letting go, and I hope you're okay with that decision.
Don't worry,
This is such a classic way to start.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking up by letting this go.
Every time is a flat circle. Okay, we're gonna all go back up to obscurity. That's what this whole episode is about.
Yeah.
Okay, we rode the Asian wave, and now that wave is crashing and being absorbed by the mainstream media or Netflix streaming, and we're all gonna go back to just tiny bit rolls, and that's why this podcast is ending. We're waiting for the next pandemic to happen. That's going to happen again, and then we'll be popular again. So just mark my words. Give it like 18 months, and
dude,
we'll be back.
I was thinking about this. Is kind of an inside joke for the long-term listeners. But does Jenny even know about Zach Danger number 12?
Oh yeah,
no.
Zach Danger number 12.
No, I definitely don't.
So let's see here. Yeah, that was a good one. During the pandemic, when we decided for some reason, this is our energy back then, Fumi. We had so much energy. We were like, okay,
the dumbest thing we've done on the podcast.
Horrible, it's a horrible situation. We're all isolated. What did Fumi and I decide to do? We decided to make 2 episodes a week, and then we made up alternative timeline characters where we were different. We were in the bunker, right? Mm-hmm. And we were podcasting from a bunker.
Sure.
And Fumi had an alternative name, and I had an alternative. I was number 12.
Okay.
Was Zach Danger, and we had a different intro song. It was a complete. We did it for 6 weeks, and then we just went back to regular. But if you just listen to one of those 2020 episodes, we're not Asian. We are not Asian. Not Asian. We were. I forget the lockdown was the name of the podcast. We changed it.
Yeah, I think we were called the lockdown.
Wait, so you had an alternative podcast with different characters,
but it was just like an ego, alter ego.
Okay, God. None of us were doing well.
It was this feed. Yeah, no. Although, I mean, I think our numbers were doing great, so I think we were doing great there.
People like Zach Danger.
We also, And we also had we had this hilarious this all reminds me, getting onto this this recording at 6 p.m. reminded me of when we used to do Hack City on Zoom, which we did weekly. And we made so much money, bro.
So much money, dude.
So much money. Insane amount of money doing this. And people would come on and they'd be like, we used to have people who are now really famous. Atsuko would come on. We
had Morgan J. We had Morgan J.
We had Morgan J. We had
Yep,
Morgan
he
J.
did it.
And Morgan J's huge now.
Yep.
And we made money hand over fist doing that.
It was an incredible time, COVID.
Yeah.
It was an incredible
It was
time.
a great time.
It was a great time, and I don't think anybody remembers anything bad happening around that time. So thank you for coming on, Fumi. The two of you, everybody was saying this on all the fans. We're like, we gotta have Jenny and Fumi on the show before the show ends. And every time you came on, and the last couple times, Fumi, you're in town in New York, not infrequently, but sometimes I don't know until right before, and then you can meet on a Tuesday, and so Jenny has a real life and a job and stuff, so she can't do it, or she would leave, or she would
I'd be
have to do
gone.
something. So we never got her on. We never had the two of you on at the same time.
Yeah, it's
know.
kind of crazy.
We never confirmed that we're two separate people till this very moment. We could have been one person this whole time.
Just you're me with a wig.
Yeah, exactly. Doing sketch
Oh my
improv
God.
somewhere. I don't know.
I thought this would happen way earlier, but now it's been so long.
I
you
know. Me
I
too.
feel like I had sort of I remember earlier on when you had just taken over, I was thinking if I came on, the vibe would be Mike is my ex and you're his new wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're living in my house now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's this is not where the toilet paper goes. You know what I mean? But now it's been so long, it's not even like that at all. It's been so
No.
long.
Now we're those healthy. You know how white people have healthy ex.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We're
yeah.
co-parenting.
They all have Thanksgiving
We're
together.
co-parenting.
Yeah. It's this is my ex-husband's new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sasha. She's coming here with her kid from another family.
Yeah.
And we're all hanging out together.
Well, because I think Jenny has done it as long as me. I think. I only did it for 4.
Okay. I think I'm approaching. What am I approaching? How old is your son? That's how I know.
My son is 3. My son is 3.5. So
we're approaching
about
the same amount.
of time.
It's about the same amount of time.
About the same amount.
Well, I think I worked a lot less hard than you, so there's that factor when you put it in the equation.
Do I have notes on the sound quality of your live show? Absolutely. But this is what happens
wasn't on
when
me.
I'm not part
Don't
of your
get me-
podcast. This is what happens, guys.
Don't get me started. I don't want to roast them. You guys didn't see. I sent a very strongly worded email to that venue, and I was like, I'm not upset. I'm just sort of surprised. That's what I said. I sound a very disappointing Asian parent.
Yeah.
Oh, you paid someone to do it.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Well,
I
it
thought
was a
you
whole
did it.
thing.
I thought you just didn't
No,
check the levels.
I didn't
or
do it
something.
myself. No, are you kidding me? Now I'm like you, dude. Now I'm a fucking sound nerd.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, each one of these tracks, we have to do each one, and someone should be doing this live. Blah blah blah. I know way too much about audio. So I was I was also and for our listeners there, before we recorded, I went up to the booth and I was like, okay, we're ready to record, and they're like, yeah, great. Do you have a memory card? And I was like, are you serious? I was like, no, I don't have a memory card. And I was scrambling. I literally was scrambling. I was like, usually I bring all my gear with me. And I was like, I'm sure these people will have a memory card.
Yeah.
They didn't. And I was like, can I? Is there such a thing as? I mean, Amazon's warehouse is really close by. Could I just instantly get one? I was really scrambling. And then they were like, oh no, we have one. I'm like, okay, thank Jesus. But anyways, putting that aside, otherwise they're very nice.
Okay.
people.
I thought you guys did it, and I was a little disappointed.
No.
But it was out of your
No,
control.
hey.
It was a little.
Yes.
It was out of your hands.
was.
It was out. Which is
was.
surprising because they would never do that at you can pay Union Hall to do it when you have shows there, and it's perfect. So that's weird.
Union Hall is that's their jam. I know. Anyways, we won't get into it. So, anyways, you two, Jenny and Fumi, you guys have met before this.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah, it was by accident. It was super brief. I think it was Julia Shiplett's birthday party a couple years ago.
Her 21st birthday party.
Yeah, her 21st birthday party. And I remember being at the bar. It was kind of a hip bar I've never like heard of. And
It was a basement. It was like a
there was
whiskey
like a
bar.
there was like 2 floors, and the bottom floor had like a dance floor. But I was just like upstairs with my friend, and I turned around and Fumi walked in, and I was like, what the fuck? What is he doing here? And I like remember like being like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, oh, and I think you were doing I think you wrote for an event, like a live event thing.
Oh my God. You know what? That's so funny because we're talking about Simu today. I was writing for Simu.
Oh,
this was
he
for
was,
the
he was hosting the Time 100
yes.
Time one
award show, and I was writing jokes for him, so I was in town.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you came in kind of hot. Like, I think you were having a weird week or something, because I think immediately you're like, it's kind of a weird week kind of thing. I like something like, I remember the vibe. I remember the vibe being like, Fumi's stressed about some work thing, and it came in hot, and then I was like, well, it's nice to meet you in person.
Oh, because that was literally like a week after I got let go from Corden. So I think I was like in a weird space. But then immediately I got that writing job. And so like it was like a happy, sad moment altogether, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I could just tell. I was like, Fumi's in a place, and I was just like, hey, what's up?
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, you picked up my energy real good.
Yeah, it was. I just remember that being like, I think Fumi's going through something, but I'm not gonna ask. And
This is the difference
nice
between men and women, is because you picked up on such a nuanced, like really like hard part of my life that like I remember calling Mike about it. Like it was such like a
you called me on the phone.
It was a really like important time in my life that I had to like overcome to be what I am. And then all I remember about you is I just remember thinking like I walked away and I was like, she's so short. That's all I remember. That's all I remember.
That's so real. That is so real. And I feel like this is the exact shift in tone of this podcast.
Yep, that is exactly right.
I literally, that's all I remember thinking. I was like, man, she's mad short though.
She's mad short though. How did we sustain a podcast, Fumi and I, for 4 years with observations like that?
Yeah.
That was our level of observational skills.
Those were hot takes.
That was
exactly.
yo, that guy's short though. How do we climb? What the?
That's amazing.
You know, our deep takes about the media landscape was short, super short. Can't believe it. Hair's weird.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, now I understand
Wow.
why it was so much about fleshlights. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
We had to have something. We had to have something else to take place. Well, I mean, Joey. So Jenny. So your thought, your vibe on him was that he was just going through something.
Wait, I do remember. We've hung out another time. I remember. Did you do a half-hour thing at Union Hall both when you guys split? When you guys split like time? I think you guys split like.
I think we did do half hours.
We did half
Yes,
hours.
I do.
Halves.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was. I remember the first meeting, and I remember also hanging out at Union Hall backstage. And I remember thinking, Fumi 1 is in a better place mentally, and also 2, I think I was like, oh, he's like very nice. Like I was like, he was very friendly. I remember thinking that.
Oh, okay, good.
Because the first time I was like, I don't know if he's friendly or if he's in a bad place, and then I think the second time I was like, oh, he's like friendly and in a better place.
Yo, that second time I was like, still short.
Yeah,
So short.
Consistent. Jenny is consistent.
If there's one thing about Jenny, she's the same height every time.
Has anyone ever said any comparisons like from any listeners? Has anyone come up to you and said like, oh yeah, you're like this, either to either of you? Oh, this is what I think about the other person. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Not really. I feel like women have come up to me and said they started listening after me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
that makes sense. And
don't blame that.
But I'm
Don't
sure
blame you
we've
there.
lost men in the process, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but they're not coming up to me saying that. Yeah.
I think our listenership was pretty mixed for a while, and then it's actually leaned more women, even when it was Fumi and me.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. Yeah, a little bit, not like a lot, but like a little bit. Maybe I don't know what it was. I don't know, had low self-esteem. I have no idea. It was just something. It was just like something that was like in our stats, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I'm glad both of you guys are here and are finally on the show. Fumi, you still listen to the show even all the way up till now. Did you like the live show?
I did. I liked it. I mean, it was so hard to listen to because of sound quality.
Yes,
but it was
a little.
but it was
crazy,
fun.
yes.
But you know what, man? I was thinking about. Well, actually, I what really made me laugh is like when you introduce your wife, you're like, ladies and gentlemen, wife, and the reason why I'm ending this podcast, Gina.
yeah. My family, my whole family. They're literally in the next room, and they're crying and stuff. Maybe they'll come on in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Was there like I liked it the way it is, but like, was there a reason why you had so many guests on? Like, or is that like you didn't know how to fill the time, or like what was the reason behind that?
You know what it is. I feel every time we've done a live show, Jenny, you and me, we usually have at least 2 guests.
Yeah.
And we do it that way, and then I think with this one it was like Brian and Young Me, because you kind of want to have both of them. So then you end up having 3, and I mean, this is like a lesson. Even when you and I did it together, Fumi, we would always have other people, but I think it's because I never had enough self-confidence that people would come and see me by myself, or Jenny and I by ourselves. We always had to have other people come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking, you told me that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the past, like we haven't done that many live shows. I think the first time we did it at Live Nation, it was like Ronnie and Michelle. But I think they would come on, do their thing, and like leave maybe. Like I feel like we took up more space. And I remember doing something at Canal Street Market. It was like the same thing. Like people would come on, but then they would leave or whatever. But you told me like
we had them on a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've been thinking about that a lot too, because I think like doing something alone is so scary. But as a fan, obviously I love Brian and Young Me, but as a fan, I was like, oh, I wanted more Mike and Jenny time. You know what I mean?
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and maybe this is because I don't have kids, but like, what's his name? Like the boy, he was like funny
Mino?
for 3 seconds, and he started like annoying the fuck out of me. I was like, get this kid fucking out of it. Like, what is he doing there? So and then like I could tell you were trying to like wrap him up because he was just doing his like 11-year-old talking about whatever. When he roasted you, that was funny though. But
yes, I love the roast.
Yeah,
the roast was incredible.
When he was like, what, in front of 80 people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
He got me so bad.
Yeah.
He got us so bad there. The accuracy of the ticket count. That was
unbelievable. So good.
That's what stings. It was exactly on point. It was like right on the nose. I was like, did you see our sales? Yeah. I hear you there, Fumi. I think that feels that's nice to hear.
But I'm sure you get that from your fans a lot.
We do. Again, it's always like, this sounds really stupid, but even when before I perform, before I get on stage, I don't know if you feel like this, Jenny. I'm running around, and partially it's because I'm like in producer mode, where I'm like fucking running around, like trying to make sure everybody's in place. How's the ticket sales? Like, do I need a memory card? Shit like that. And then I don't think that people are there to see me. I don't know why. I just never have thought that. Even before, when I did, when I taped my little like comedy set for Cracked, I was watching people perform, and I was like, man, I should do stand up sometime. I should try doing that. And then I become that. I literally can tell, like, as I go on the stage, I slip into something else, and then I'm somebody else. But then I get off the stage and I'm like back to me again. I don't know if you ever feel like that. I'm like, people can't possibly want to see me. I don't know if you feel like that, Fumi.
I do feel like that, and I believe that is the reason why I'm not more successful. I know it is. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Really?
I'm actually writing about it right now. I just remember, but like I really believe that, like, I mean, I think it obviously goes back to the way you were raised and the way people talked about you as a kid, and I think there's like certain things you're really confident about, but there are things that have no stakes, right? Like Mike, you talk about like history a lot, and it's really funny when you do that, and you're kind of like cocky about it, but there's no stakes, right? Nobody gives a shit. Your parents don't give a shit that you know a lot about World War II or whatever,
Yeah.
But like when it comes to comedy, this thing that you do every day, you get smaller sometimes, and I do. That happens to me too. I don't know if that's like an Asian thing or not, but sorry, I don't mean to like lead your podcast my way, but
no.
Speaking, I know we're talking about what kind of Asian we were. I had a really weird experience this week. So I've been playing tennis a lot. Thanksgiving Day, I'm playing tennis with my girlfriend in West Hollywood, and then after we're done playing, this like gang of this like rich white family comes up to me, and they go, hey, we need one more person. Do you want to play with us? So I stay an extra hour and I play with this family, who I later find out are like all ex D1 athletes. They have a cousin who plays for the Eagles and the Ravens. And,
How did you know?
Because I asked them. I was like, why is everybody so tall?
Oh, shit.
And they were like, oh.
Okay, the one thing you notice is height.
The
It's
height
just
thing.
height.
It's just
Fumi
that's
is
the one thing you
only seeing
notice.
that.
You can clock in Fumi.
Yeah, they're tall. She's short.
If Fumi ever gets mugged, God help you if you try to get a description of the person.
seriously.
I don't know shit. I don't know what color they were. I don't know what they were wearing. Oh, tall though. Super tall.
Yeah, seriously.
Wild tall.
So it was like a grandpa, but when I say grandpa, like the girl was like our age. She had a parent who was probably like 60 or something. She played D1 basketball at UC Irvine, has a cousin on the Ravens. Like, you know what I mean? And the dad had a crazy serve, like mad strong, like, you know, so like this was like an athletic family. And we were playing like doubles, round robin style. And like, it's so funny because like, you know, during tennis, like it's very common to be like, oh, good angle or like good shot or like, you know, just to, like pump each other up in doubles because if you get in your head, you start missing points. But like the dad, like anytime, like the daughter was not a tennis player, but because she was an athlete, she figured it out very quickly, you know, and like the dad was so encouraging to her and being like, great shot, like great serve, like,
wow.
you know, and just saying it a lot. And like after the seventh time, I'm like, okay, enough, dude. Like, what are we like? What? We're just like parents are just saying this. Like, parents are just giving this away on a tennis court. You know what I mean? Like, this is not even a thing that really matters right now. You know?
Yeah.
But then I was just like, oh, but like, if this is the way he's behaving on the tennis court, this encouraging language, what is he doing at the house where they grew up, you know? And guess what? She told me, she was like my age. She has a house in Hancock Park, which is a very nice neighborhood in LA. Okay, you cannot own there. These homes. And so it's like, you know, I rent here, you know? But that's the difference. My dad never said good serve. He never said that to me, you know?
He never said good serve.
I was actually
never said I love you or good serve.
Yeah, man. So this week I was like appreciative Asian. I was like, man, this is really like, I mean, I don't have kids, but I imagine this is something you, Mike and Gina, think about maybe as you're raising your kid. I'm not saying like, you know, overwhelm them with compliments, but it's not a compliment.
Sure.
It's sort of encouraging. He's not saying you're gonna go pro. He was just saying like, that was great. You know, that was a really good shot because it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking about how, like, I don't know if I told this story on this podcast, but like, I feel like my entire confidence goes back to this like moment in high school where, like, you know, after you take the SATs, you get like random pamphlets from colleges because they want you to apply because they want to make money from you. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was probably like a junior. My dad's like an engineer. I was okay at math. I would say, relatively speaking, math and science is probably better than like writing and reading and stuff. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll like, I got a pamphlet from Johns Hopkins. And I was like, oh, maybe, cause I knew they were like a math school. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like engineering. Like maybe I'll do engineering, like whatever you're doing. And my dad goes, you're not going to Johns Hopkins.
Oh, wow.
Wow, really?
but like, I just, because he didn't think I was like good enough at math and stuff. He was like, you have to be like really, really devoted to like, engineering is like really hard. But he said that to me when I was like 16. And like, obviously I didn't want to be an engineer, but like that, I think about that moment all the time. And so like, you just doubt yourself for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? You doubt yourself. And I see it, like, I've been in writers' rooms where like, you know, when the chemistry's right, I'm doing my thing. But like, I've been in rooms where like, I let people like dim my light. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's like really, you feel so unfunny and you're like, what the fuck? Do I not know how to do this? You know? But like, but that's comedy. You can't do that because they hired you to do your thing. So if you get shy or this thing you're talking about of like, well, maybe they want to hear from me, you're already done. You're gonna get fired. You know what I mean? Like they don't need you. And they don't have time to do a pep talk because they are answering to, these showrunners are answering to like NBC executives. They don't have time to figure your shit out. So you can't bring this energy into the room. And I'm not saying like, obviously there's like other rooms, like depending on what room you're in, it's a different job. Some rooms are very toxic. I'm not saying that every room is a good fit for me, but like I've been in situations where it's like, oh my God, like why do I feel so stunted right now? I'm so scared, you know? And it's like, but I want to get rid of that. I'm not saying that I'm the best comedy person in the world and I should stay at every job. I don't. If you're a TV writer, you get let go all the time. It's not the first time. It's, you know what I mean? Like if you get, it just happens. Like some rooms, like I've had showrunners who are like, you're amazing, and other showrunners are like, no, you're done. It's different.
Oh, wow.
But you can't really let that. You're just doing you.
You gotta
and,
keep.
and whatever you were able to do, they didn't need that, and that's okay. It's like, dude, I've been watching basketball too, bro. Like it's like basketball, man. on the Lakers right now, there's a center named his last name is Ayton, Ayton. He was on the Blazers for a long time. People are like, oh, he was like maybe first round, third pick, which is really high, which is like the third highest, right? He had high expectations, couldn't really do much on the Suns, couldn't do much in the Blazers, but now he's on the Lakers and he's doing amazing because Luka is like knows how to use him. And I think and the writers' room and comedy is like that. They have to know how to use you. But if they don't know how to use you, you feel like, am I bad at comedy? Like, you know, am I the worst basketball player even though I was first round, third pick? But you can't, all that shit goes back to the tennis court, great angle. You know what I'm saying? It all goes back to that. So anyways, that's what I thought of when he said that.
I love that. The 7 different metaphors in one story. Fumi style diatribe. But I feel that.
Diatribe?
I feel that. That was oddly touching. It honestly unnerves me how much wisdom you've accumulated.
Bro, I'm 36 years old now. I'm so old.
Fair point. Jenny, do you feel that too? Because, you know, especially to the thing, you know, like having other people dim your light. I feel that is something, you know, that you know, you could feel good going like in the morning you feel good, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then you start spiraling, and you can feel yourself like going into the dark place.
Yeah.
You know? So you feel that too, Jenny.
Well, like, have you ever, you know, like the people, I have 2 examples. One, if you're not in comedy stuff, but like regular life, you're like working at a company and you are in a meeting and there's like a guy who just is like loud and confident and somehow keeps getting ahead, even though he's not that smart, but he talks really loudly. There's like that guy. And then there's like the people who keep doing comedy, even though they don't get laughs. And they keep going, and I'm just like, I'm watching, and I go, I can't believe they keep going. I would stop because I'm not getting laughs. It's like those 2 types of people I kind of am jealous of because they're moving forward with some sort of self-confidence that's not reliant on like external validation. Meanwhile, I think like, and maybe it is an Asian thing, maybe it's a Japanese thing, I don't know. But I feel like it's like if you don't hit certain benchmarks that are like objective, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I got into this college, so I'm smart enough. I got this grade, so I'm smart enough. I got this award, so I'm funny enough, whatever. Like, I feel like that's how I operate too. And so I've always thought if I was like 20% dumber and 20% more confident. So like I'm not as smart and I'm a lot more confident. I think I would go farther in comedy.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
That would be great. Yeah.
That would be the perfect amount.
Stupider.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that all the time. And I also, the compliment thing, I can't give compliments. I'm really bad at giving compliments because I wasn't raised with it. And so like, I feel like I'm like existing to try to get compliments from other people, but I also don't give it out. I don't know. I feel like there's a mind fuck with that too. Cause I'm always like, I remember when, I think I've told this on the pod before, I wrote a musical, like in my early 20s, like I co-wrote a comedy musical and I wrote it I didn't know script software existed. So we wrote it in Google Docs. And it was like I thought it was like not bad. I'm sure if I read it now, it's horrible. But at the time, considering I never took a class, I just wrote a thing. And it was like to an audience of like probably 500, 600 people. Like that's like my first thing I ever wrote. And my dad came. And then after the show, I said, what did you think? And he said, it was better than I expected. And that was the highest compliment I ever received. It's like, I'm operating under that.
That's crazy about that is like, I feel like, and Mike, you can speak to this because you have kids. Like, I don't have kids, but I have nephews. And if my nephew was like, I wrote a poem, I would be so excited to read it.
Yeah.
Even if it was bad. Just to be like, what was in your head? You were related and you wrote this thing. I think that's so cool. It doesn't matter to me if it's bad. That's not the point. The point is like you felt like expressing yourself in this like weird way, and I knew you when you were a baby, and now you're writing a musical. Like that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But like they can't say that, so they go,
yes.
it was better than. By the way, that makes no sense because he's not like he watches comedy musicals. What's his expectation? He has no bar. This bar is based on nothing.
I know, but I think his bar was that it was going to be bad and like not that many people were going to be there. And then I think he was like, oh, it's like an actual production. Even though, you know what I mean? But it was like, but you're right. It's based on nothing. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Also, that could be that kind of, I was like, oh, so your expectations were very low. I was like reversely taking that as a negative. I don't know. It's very Asian parent, but that was the extent of compliments I got. So...
That's pretty good. Yeah, I know. I get pretty excited with Neo. He's doing this new thing now where he can pee standing up. It's pretty fire. I've never seen. It's amazing. I'm like, you're a genius, bro. You're a genius. So okay, I want to come back around to Fumi's story. We have other things, we want to talk about as well. Jenny, do you have what kind of Asian were you this week?
Yeah, sure. I don't have anything specific, so I will just begin talking.
Okay.
I just got back like 3 hours ago from Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week with my boyfriend's family in Pennsylvania and in Philly. And so I guess I was like a white Thanksgiving culture observer Asian.
Oh, I think we all were doing that. We were all doing that, weren't we?
Yes.
Fumi, were you doing that? White Thanksgiving?
No, we made a hot pot at the house. Just me and Maria.
Oh, that's Asian Thanksgiving.
Well, we don't like, because she's also an immigrant. We don't do turkey, so we've never had turkey for Thanksgiving. We always make like some fun food that we want to eat.
That's beautiful, and that makes sense. But I guess like my biggest takeaway, and I think I might have talked about this before in other contexts, is just like, because my family is so small in the Bay Area, like I don't know if this is just a my family thing, they're very like nuclear, like they don't have a ton of community. I would say like we're not like driving to people's homes, dropping off cookies randomly, like stuff like that. And his family is very the opposite. It's like, drive to her house and drop off like these gifts and then like come in your pajamas and like chit chat for a little bit. And then like, do you know what I mean? Like go meet up with like these family over there. Yeah. Like how, like every door's open. You like walk into a friend's house and you're like watching a football game and eating nachos. Like I just don't come from that background.
Wait,
so it's like
they went around from place to place or people came to them?
I mean, every which way. Like people will drop things off or like, they'll be like, can you go drop off this gift to like, Sue's house or whatever. And so we'll go do it and then like go hang out or whatever. Like, it's just very open door neighborhood family friend-ish. Like a lot of people where he's like, or we're like walking into town and then someone will roll down their window and be like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh, that was my neighbor when I was growing up. Like she's like my second mom. Like that type of vibe. It's very like community oriented in a way that I was not. I didn't grow up with that. And so like my community was only my family, and that's a very small family. It's like, it was like 7 of us. And so I don't know. I was like, that's really nice. Like, I was like, how awesome. I wonder sometimes if like, maybe if I had grown up in Japan and my mom, like my whole family was around, like a bunch of cousins, second cousins, aunts, my parents' cousins, whatever, like maybe that would be the vibe there too. I don't know. But I just always am like a little bit jealous. Like, I'm a little jealous that you get to just like do that. Like there's just like a network of people that I'm not used to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just hit a cold snap, and with 2 little kids, our family of 4 sometimes ends up piled up into the same bed. Our Helix Sleep Mattress has honestly handled that chaos pretty well. Comfortable, it's supportive, I'm sleeping better than I did on my old mattress. Plus, if you've been following my adventures in dadhood, you'll know I need as much sleep as I can get between lots of colds, family obligations, and dealing with existential crises. Good thing there's Helix. Their sleep quiz makes choosing easy, it ships free, and you get a 120-night sleep trial. Go to helixsleep.com/Asian for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Asian Not Asian. That's helixsleep.com/Asian for 27% off site-wide exclusive for listeners of Asian Not Asian. Make sure you enter our show name into the post-purchase survey so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/Asian. Thinking of thoughtful gifts becomes tougher each year. Nutrafol makes it easy. It's thoughtful, practical, and meaningful. Healthy, stronger hair is a gift that keeps going long after the holiday season ends. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. This holiday season, Nutrafol is the perfect gift for anyone on your list. Your mom or aunt going through menopause, a friend who just had a baby and is experiencing postpartum hair shedding, your father or husband who relies on his baseball hat to cover up, yourself or anyone looking to support their overall hair health. It's probably not something you've ever thought of as a gift, but trust me, they will be thanking you later. Gifting something that someone actually needs instead of another mug, gift card, or blanket is a thoughtful and impactful way to show you care this holiday season. Give the gift of confidence this holiday season with Nutrafol. Whether you're treating yourself or someone on your list, visibly healthier, thicker hair is the gift that keeps on giving. Right now, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription plus free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and use the promo code ASIAN. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code ASIAN for $10 off.
I feel there's something around, I don't know if this is related to what Fumi is saying, but I sometimes think about the way that I act around white people. And I think I'm generally much nicer to white people than Asian people. When I'm hanging out with Asian people, I don't have any pretense. I drop every single thing, and I'm just sort of like, I'm not like a dick, but I'm just sort of like, okay, we are all both on level 0. We're both on the same level. But sometimes with white people, I go, okay, I'm not like saying you're better than me, but I'm like, okay, there's some things I'm going to do to make sure that you don't get weirded out.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we were all talking about hot pot recently, right? Okay, and I hung out with my in-laws. They're very nice people, super friendly. They're very welcoming to us. We've been going to their house for years and years. They're really great. But like, okay, here's a small example, and it's not an issue or anything. But they have nice dishes special for eating for special meals. They have a special thing, okay? And I don't have that. I don't generally think Asian people have that. I'm not saying Asian people don't have nice things, but we don't have fine dishes to eat a special meal on. It's always the same fucking ones. And so I was like, do I put these in the dishwasher? Do I not? Do I hand wash them? Do I not? I walk a little bit around eggshells. That's just a small example. I don't know how white people do it. I don't know how why you guys do it this way.
Wait, these are white people? I thought these are Gina's brother?
These are my in-laws. These are my in-laws.
Oh,
this is Gina's brother's in-laws.
Gina's brother's in-laws who are not Korean.
Yeah, they are white.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, they're white. They are white, and they got they're really nice, and they get what you should have known when I said they're really nice. These are not Korean people. You should have known right away. But if I go over to an Asian person's house, even if I don't know, I'm just sort of like, okay, well, we all came here around the same time, so just chill, I'm not going to be as I guess I don't know I don't know how to describe
Bro, but that's
it.
That's that light I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's your light. You're just like, this is who I am, and I don't think you're gonna judge me because we have the same face. You know what I mean? And I truly feel like I always think about where am I the most me, right? And by that I mean most open and which equals I'm probably being the funniest. You're probably getting the most purest Fumi voice comedy. And
it's uncut Fumi.
It's like this podcast. It's like my podcast. It's like when I'm around. It's not always Asian people, but it's like certain people allow me to be who I want to be. A lot of the times they are not white, but I'm not saying that they can't be white. But but I think I know what you mean. You're not doing comedy for your in-laws, but you're just sort of like, oh, can I be Mike? Because Mike Dwayne doesn't puts that dishwasher in the dishwasher or puts that nice dish in the dishwasher regardless of the status of or how much it costs. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do, but it's now you're like, oh, if I can't do this, what else can I do? Are my shoes are my socks dirty? You're sort of reevaluating your entire life because of this stupid ass dish. It's making you question your whole life.
here's a question for you. When you are doing that, and I think you're onto something. When you feel your light getting dimmed, either by yourself or somebody else or whatever, let's say you're in this room, it's a little tricky, but you guys still got you bring the ha-has. Like, is there something you do to do that? Because I think it's, let's just ask you that first. Like, do you feel like, is there like a mantra you have? Do you go to the bathroom and like psych yourself up? Like, what do you do?
Well, I've been like practicing stuff with my therapist where like, like you have to like ground yourself. So I like doodle. I doodle.
Oh,
and
really?
I try to just calm down so I can get back in it.
Oh, shit.
And listen to the conversation and stuff. But I mean, to be honest, just like anything in life, I think, I'm talking about it through comedy writing rooms because that's where I felt this the most. I don't really feel it in stand-up because I've been doing it longer, and also if I'm holding the microphone, everybody's listening to me, whether I'm bombing or not. Like you have to listen to me. I think in other situations, like you have to wait for your turn to talk, and then also depending on your status, I don't know this. Like if you're like a lower level writer, you can't talk as much. I don't fucking know that. So there's all these things you have to like consider. So I think it's like as you get older, the more you do it, the more confident you know how to navigate the space. I think it was definitely harder for me earlier on, or if it's the first time in that kind of scenario, I don't know what I'm doing. So that combined with am I good enough to be here was just like a disaster,
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, you have to figure it out. So like I never really like, I don't know. I'm also like, I'm not one of these people who are doing TV writing when you're like 23. Some people do that. I got my first TV writing job when I was like 31. And I'm like old. So like I think I was like old enough to kind of like process all this. So like I knew I wasn't doing that good, but I was also like, but it's okay. This is your first time being in a situation like this.
Yeah.
It is what it is, baby. Like, just keep doing you, keep pitching stuff, whatever. Like
keep
who cares?
doing you,
Like,
baby.
My friends were like, bro, just it's fine. Like it's a contract. They have you for X amount of weeks. Like take the money and run. So I was like, I'm just gonna take the money and run. I can literally moon them, and I have to be here for 20 weeks. I can do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I could. So I just try to go back to that, and I'm just like practicing being myself, if that like makes sense. But I think that's such
Absolutely
a thing
makes
that like can go. I think this is not something that's just in comedy rooms. I think it could be at your jobs, at your corporate situations, whatever. Like anywhere where you're working with different people and you feel like they're not allowing you to be you.
I love that. I feel that, and so I think the through line is, sometimes you got to find your people, and your people can help you shine. But my story of the week is what happens when those people who you think are going to help you shine just shit all over you. Okay. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you the story. So, beginning of November is New York Comedy Week. Okay, New York Comedy Week. There's a ton of comedy that happens. I'm sort of like whatever about it, but it can be a great time. There's a lot of great acts that come into the city. A lot of people perform, and there's lots of like, generally you pitch to the festival like, I'm going to do all these different kinds of shows. I'm going to do this kind of show, whatever. Fumi and I, we've had Hack City on it before, and I've done lots of different things on New York Comedy Week. So my really good friend, friend of the pod, been on the pod, Vic Tran, and his friend, also my friend Will Pepper from LA. They come here to New York. Vic is based in New York, and they do a Vietnamese themed, like Vietnamese comedian themed show. And it's at Second City, which I had never performed before. It's in the Second City Black Box, so a small intimate space. It's maybe like 50 or 60 people, and they, Vic asked me, "Hey, do you want to host this?" It's gonna, Vic and Will are gonna be doing half hours. Jason Chaney's gonna be on. He was just gonna do a guest spot. Some other people are just going to drop by. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. Vietnamese, like, comedy. It's going to be great. We're going to get Vietnamese people in this show. It's going to be super cool. Jason Chaney is not Vietnamese, but that's a side point. But, I'm, like, excited. I'm like, I have so many Vietnamese jokes. I have so many things. I can get so, like, into the weeds about it. I don't have to hold back any Vietnamese shit. I'm going to, like, go into it. It's going to be awesome. And I go, and I'm excited to do it. I got my little like recorder and my camera and everything, and I go up there and I just eat shit for 12 minutes straight. Just bomb so badly.
What?
I just ate it. I mean, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe I went too political. I have no idea. So I got them a little bit, like they kind of gave me a little bit here and there, and I kind of switched it up, whatever. It was fine, but I mean, Will did good, Vic did good, Jason did good, and it was interesting because I was sitting there, and you know what it is, Fumi, you know what it is. This brings me all the way back. Fumi, you're laughing. Fumi's laughing
You're
so
like,
much.
I'm not gonna let them dim my light. And then they were just
I'm gonna let them dim my
dim
light.
your light,
No,
but
no,
they
here's the thing.
diarrhea on your lamp, bro.
No, these. I'm like, no, these white people are going to dim my light.
Yeah.
No, these Vietnamese people are
The
going to
call
understand.
is
They're gonna
coming
lift,
from inside the
they're
house.
they're gonna lift me up, and I'm gonna become famous. No, they told me to eat shit, dude. I was like, this is great. Where's Ice now? Where's Ice? I don't see Ice. Okay,
You
that
go
was
Ice at the end of your set.
I
I
called
love
them
that.
up.
That's what you should have done.
Yeah, I should have done. I actually made a lot of Ice jokes, and I think that's what made them nervous.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were
Do you
very
think they
into
were
it.
Vietnamese? Because if you put Jason Cheney on the bill, he has a ton of fans, but his fans are like Chinese people from China. He does shows in Chinese, and so like I'm not saying everybody, but like I've opened for him. We've all like in LA, like we all open for each other, and like
Yeah.
we don't always do that well for Jason's audience because they are like from China a lot of times. They're like they live here now, but they're from China. So like,
Okay.
is that what that
Yeah.
was, or were they Vietnamese?
Well, so no, I don't think they were all Vietnamese, but I do think this was really the point was that the Fumi and I, we like towards the beginning of this podcast, we used to have these like debates about whether or not Asian audiences suck, and like you need to kind of get them into this thing, and there's a certain kind of like certain Asian audiences are into it, some aren't, some you have to kind of learn how to navigate all that shit. And for a long time I was like, no, it's all about the comedians need to be able to talk to any kind of audience, and it's not the audience's fault. But this happened to me, and I was definitely like, this is the audience's fault. This is not right.
It's not my fault. This cannot be.
But yeah. But here's the thing. It was sort of like like I feel pretty good with stand up. I'm not like I'm not touring or anything like that, but I feel I've been doing it long enough, and I could read the room, and I know what to do. And I was like thinking, I was like, we've been doing this podcast for a long time. Stand up is bigger than ever. There's more Asian stand-ups who are headliners and who are touring than ever. And I'm sort of like, has the Asian audiences gotten any better? And sometimes, and I think about this all the time, and I talk to other Asian comics about this all the time. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, like it kind of varies. Sometimes you gotta like, in my opinion, Asian audiences, they may have the most PhDs and master's degrees, but when it comes to comedy, they're morons. And you have to like get them with really accessible jokes about like child beating, or like you're talking about I don't know, calling your Asian mom something, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that you got to get them first with a little bit of shock, and then they kind of will climb on, or some very simple wordplay. I think will do it. But I wanted to see what you thought about this.
Okay, this is my honest analysis on that, and I wasn't there. I think it's not that Asian audiences suck. I think homogenous audiences suck. So like if I do a show for like all gays or something, it's just harder because everybody's the same, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, and I think like in my experience, I think in everybody's experience, especially in New York, we have this a lot. I think the reason why Hack City is so fun is because like it's not just all Asian people, right? It is like very mixed.
For sure.
And that
Yeah.
is a very like unique thing to have, because now with Instagram and stuff, it's so easy to get a fan base, but everybody looks the same, right?
Yeah.
So like all our friends look blowing up, whatever, like, all of Jordan Jensen's fans look like exactly what you think they look like. You know what I mean? Like tattoos, like white trash, white people, whatever. Like, because that's who sees you on Instagram. But like, I think it's amazing. Like, comedy's just better when there's like older people, younger people, black people, Asian people, Koreans, whatever. Like poor people, rich people. Like, it's just the more variation, the better it is. It's just, but we know that from doing it for years. Like, that is a fact. And so I think when people say like, oh, Asian shows are not that good, I mean, I'm sure there's like there's a little bit of that, absolutely, because I've also done like there's a show in LA called Chocolate Sundays where it's like all black people and it's like so much fun. But like but like sometimes I'm not able to get them because they're looking for, because I guess what they're all looking for is the same thing. So if you don't got that thing, they don't like you. Whereas if it's more diverse, people over here might be into it, and maybe if you can get 50% of the room, the other 50 are like, oh, what are they laughing about?
I'll give it a shot. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. It must
but
be
if
funny
no one's giving you a shot. Yeah, if no one's giving you a
Yes.
shot and just diarrheaing over your dreams, then no one wants to listen to your comedy, you know?
Yes. That's such a great way to point to lay it out there. That's a really good point. I don't know, Jenny, if you feel that sometimes, you know, when you do sketch or something, if like the audience composition is a certain way, you're like, oh, it's going to be a little trickier to get them on board versus not.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so different because we can't change it. Once you've written the thing, it's just like, I don't get to change it. There's a whole team of us acting out a sketch.
Yeah.
But I will say I can tell audience composition has changed since our theater location has changed to more older and more touristy types.
More touristy, right?
And before it was very like underground and young types. And so I have noticed that what does well is like more basic, simple stuff that's like more universal. There's like that stuff that I've noticed. Not that we want to change what we write because of that reason, but like I have noticed that, and it kind of discourages you from like being weird and specific and things. Like I don't think Tim Robinson would necessarily do well in that room either, like his sketches either.
I see.
So there's like that stuff, but I was gonna have a different note for why maybe you didn't do well, or did, you know, when you do well, maybe you were the bad type of sleep deprived, because I've seen sleep deprivation work for you, but I've also seen it work against you. So maybe it was just like not the day where it was working for you.
Yeah, play the set, bro. Play the set. Play the set.
I know. I taped it, and like I never tape the ones where I do good. I'm always taping all the ones where I do bad. So my phone's just full of me bombing. I'm just eating
no,
shit
but literally, there was one day, one Hack City, you were exhausted. Like you were like, I didn't sleep well, blah blah. Like you were like telling me like you were so out of it, and you kept crushing. Like every joke did well, but then you would end every joke with like, wow, you guys really like me. You would every joke you go like, wow, you guys are really laughing. Like you were so
drunk.
Surprised.
Yeah. Wow, that's really that's a fascinating take there for me, and I think you might be onto that, and Jenny too. All right, I mean, I wanted to continue this with, you know, the theme of this is like us, you know, time is a flat circle. We got this episode. We got this.
This is that Mike Nguyen shit that I'm gonna miss, man. No other podcast you can say stuff like this, man. What does that even mean? No one knows what you're talking about.
That's what I like to bring out. I like to bring out some esoteric shit.
I didn't know the theme of this episode was time is a flat circle.
Time
You're
is a flat circle. You know why? Because now we're talking about Simu Liu again.
I know.
Right?
I know.
We used to have Simu before all this. We had there was Simu Liu before. There's Simu Liu now. There's Simu Liu in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Time is a flat circle. Only thing consistent is Simu Liu.
Yeah.
He's been there the whole fucking time.
Past.
Yeah, just look far enough in the past. Now he's back, and we sent around this article. He had this like whole post on social media about like how there's, you know, that Hollywood is backsliding. He's getting a lot of roles. He himself is absorbing most of the roles, which means that like there's not really that many roles for I think he's talking about Asian male actors. He's probably talking in general about I don't know, the whole industry, but. Are we back? Are we back again? Has nature healed? Has nature healed and we're back to 2015 levels? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, well, this means that we have room to start another podcast about Asian
new
stuff.
podcast. A new one
Here
has
we
started.
go again.
Yeah, here we go. Representation.
Here we go again.
There's still room.
Wait, but why did I was confused. Like, why is he talking about this? Did it come out of nowhere? Like, I feel like this is Simu's thing, but did something trigger him to say this, or was it just like random?
Well, I gotta be honest, I don't follow Simu Liu on social media, so I do not have context.
I don't think there was anything in particular. It was just sort of, like he just, I don't know why he said it. I'm reading the thing.
Okay, wait. I clicked on a
calls him
link.
out.
It was a response thread. It's so funny that he did this on Thread, by the way, and not
Oh, yeah,
Twitter,
Threads.
But I know it just
Right.
sounds like it's just like I don't know. It just has like a weaker vibe. Anyways,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we were
Alrighty.
saying that. I was just saying that like white people are back, and Fumi called it.
like we're back, man.
Yes.
Well,
The other
we
day-
sometimes used to joke about that a lot way back in the day, but we were just like joking. But now it's like actually back, you know.
It's for real. You know how you can always tell? SNL. SNL hires is the best representation of what's going on, like year to year,
Yes.
and they are so fucking back this year.
Kind of crazy how they haven't taken a chance on an Asian person since Bowen in like
Yeah.
2018 or something.
But they're not going to. You know, like that would be. They would be like, that's too many. You know.
They don't need to anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
why do it?
So.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I have been starting to quote more Louis C.K. jokes. First in private, just to me and my wife.
No.
But you speaking of New York Comedy Festival, like he did like 3 nights at the Beacon. So I'm like, okay.
Did you go
well,
see him?
I didn't go see him, but I just knew that he was doing it. It was like one of the things. you know?
We love Louis on this podcast. Sorry,
Jesus
Jen.
Christ.
We're back. Fumi,
is a
welcome,
pro
welcome
Louis.
back,
no,
Fumi.
no.
We're back,
I will
baby.
never sign on that, even as a
Louis!
satire.
Fumi. Welcome back, Fumi.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I this is not a funny thought, but like we used to shit on like Wong Fu a lot, you know, back in the day. But it is nice that they had a space where people like this can go do rom-coms that are not that good, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Not to say that rom-coms aren't that good in general, but like there was a space for something like that. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think is going to happen in your kids' generation? Like, I feel like your kids probably go to a school with a bunch of Asians, right? I feel like maybe it's too late for us, but maybe they can. Maybe it'll be good for them. Maybe for Gen Alpha, they can save the Asians or something.
I don't know. I mean, you know, we went to Trick or Treat this year, and there were so many K-pop Demon Hunter, you know, costumes.
But that's
You know, all the
anime,
kids
bro.
are
It's
dressed up-
anime. It's different. It's anime.
I mean that's true, but like I mean for a long time anime was like a weirdo thing, and then now it's like really mainstream. And now it's so mainstream.
It's progress. It's progress for sure. But I think it's like he's saying like,
Yeah.
you know, why is that like would Sydney Sweeney ever do a rom-com with an Asian guy? No.
No.
Oh,
No.
true,
But like when can
true.
like hypothetically speaking, when can we get there? You know?
Yeah, you know, I was actually also thinking about that the other day. What's his name? Henry Golding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, very handsome person, very hot, and for a while he was being cast in rom-coms, but then my wife and I were thinking about it, and in one of the rom-coms, it's like one of those like period ones, and he plays someone who like doesn't have like a good love arc, like you know, like he ends up with like someone you're not supposed to end up with, you know, like that kind of. He's like a bad guy, so he like ends up on the side. And then another one, he is the love interest. He's the main love interest. It's him and this other, you know, famous white actress. And then it's revealed in the movie that he's actually dead and he's a ghost.
Oh my God.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Not only do Asian men have small penises, they don't even have penises at all because they are
They're
ghosts.
actually dead. It's see-through.
not
Their
real.
penises are so small you can poke through it.
You can just go like that. They are ephemeral. They are not of this world. How can you fuck when you?
That's so
Yeah,
good.
anyways, it's so good. And I'm like, that's Henry Golding, the
Yeah.
hottest of us, the hottest one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because there's a lot of hot Asian people doing stuff on like TikTok and stuff, and I don't know. I'm surprised no one from that camp has made it to mainstream or whatever. You know.
I just
point.
feel like the pendulum is just swinging culturally right now, where it's going to be white people leading stuff for a while. You know, like I think it's just going to be like that for.
I know,
like,
but when the pendulum is the other way, they're still booking white people. So the white people are
It's
consistently
true.
getting booked.
It's true.
white on both.
Great
It's a
point.
rigged
Excellent
game.
point.
it's a rigged game. It's just like how much other faces will we see?
Yeah, like
In
they have like
addition to
3
that.
less
Yeah.
jobs, maybe. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Fumi, I mean, you know, you're the one. You're going, you know, on tour. You're going from coast to coast. You got the finger on the pulse of Middle America. You know, last time you were on here, you said famously that we are too hard on some of these white people. What's your
Did I
take?
say that?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. You
can't just say that out of context.
Yeah,
You're saying that we need to, what do you call it? Like, be softer to white people.
Softer. No, what is your, do you feel like, they're coming out to see you, right? That's good, right?
Yo, for sure they're coming out to see me. I mean, I just did Denver, which is like a pretty white place. But, a lot of Asian people came out and they were like, we have not been in a room with this many Asian people in Denver like ever, and we're like from here. So like it was cool, but again, like it's mixed, right? So like a lot of my high school friends came out who were white, and like they brought their husbands, and then just like random white people, and then like a bunch of people from Asian Not Asian and Cash Cuties and Instagram who may or may not be Asian. So like it was mixed, and it was the best,
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like. I guess maybe what I meant by that. Also, I always change my opinion, so don't ever quote me. In my opinion, I'm different every day. I'm a different guy every day. I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah.
I'm a different guy every day, man.
Yeah. That's Scorpio behavior.
But I think maybe it's just sort of like. Wait, did I talk to you about this? I was having a conversation about this with my friend Chinadu recently. He's a comic, and okay, this is not funny at all, but we were talking about how like he's black, so we can talk about this. We were talking about how like back in the slave days, like he was, you know what? I'm gonna misquote this and make it sound super racist, and if I do, I'm sorry. But we were talking about this concept of like you're like white people have this history, we have this history, but we were all born in 1989, right? So you already like whatever. Like if I'm criticizing a white person who was my high school. They were also born in 1989. So they only know what they know. That was their lived experience. And so he was talking about like slave owners and stuff like that. I don't know if people were doing this or should be doing this, but he was saying there needed to be empathy for like obviously empathy for the slave, but also empathy for the slave owner's child who doesn't know anything else, right? And this is not, I don't think this is like a pro-slavery argument. It's just more like, well, he's a human and this is what he knows. And so like, sure, he can learn about the past or whatever, but like his life started when your life started. This is kind of all he knows, And so like, I think what turns white people MAGA and stuff, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this has never happened to me before Trump's second term, but like, I don't think I generally attract MAGA people, but like sometimes they just come out. Like I just did a show in Nashville and there was like a whole MAGA hat people in the front row. Didn't like anything I said. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I'm just saying like, and I don't even think I do that many jokes that are like, white people are like this,
Yeah,
my shit's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, no.
My shit's like about tall people be like this, short people, you know what I mean? That's my,
Yeah.
that's my
We all know.
Severe observations.
That's entirely what your
that's
shit is
it.
about. Yeah.
That's all I do,
That's all you do.
tall guy, short guy, But I in Chicago, it was actually your coworker came out. What was her name? The Japanese lady?
Oh,
from Milwaukee?
yes.
So she came out with her husband and she was like, oh, the people behind me were like yelling the entire time. This is the worst comedy show I've ever seen,
Wow.
because I like riffed on something about Trump because I'd just come back from Canada and like they had matcha donuts at Tim Hortons. And I just thought that was like super progressive because like I don't it was a joke about how they would never do matcha donut and Dunkin' Donuts because it would be DEI, blah, blah, blah. It was like a stupid riff. But like when I said that because I criticized Trump, I guess it was just about matcha. But like that was the first thing I said on stage and it like turned them off. So it was like, I thought I had a great set. Everybody were dying, but it's like, they were upset the entire show because I said that. Anyways, I guess this is all sort of saying like, language matters. And obviously like that guy is an outlier. But like when people say things like all white, like white people do this, blah, blah, blah. We were talking about like words like some, like things like that matter. These qualifying language, it matters because it leaves room for white people who don't do that or maybe our allies to be like I can participate in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a small thing, and I know it's easier and funnier in comedy to not women be doing this. Like that's funnier.
Yeah.
But like if you can like putting that qualifier, like it matters because like aren't you trying to like they might be on your side, but if you keep talking like that, it's going to upset them, and if you upset them, they're gonna go MAGA. A lot of times, like there was a whole drama recently about that comedian named Jeff Dye. Do you see that on Threads? There's a comedian named Jeff Dye who's like
nobody's on Threads.
He's like it's just me, him, and Simalu on Threads.
Yeah.
But he's like a comedian in LA, blew up on TikTok, whatever. He's like openly a misogynist, like super racist, a little right wing, and then like he made this whole thing about like, I'm moving to Texas because California is like this stupid like libtard cesspool, blah blah blah.
Sure.
And people were like, you're a fucking idiot. And then like, he was like doing a GoFundMe to be like, can you help me move? So like,
oh no.
and people were like, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then I remember he ended the argument being like, by the way, for everyone who commented, you only made me more conservative. And I think that is true. Like, I think we did make him more
funny.
conservative because we were joking, and like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. He was already a lost cause to begin with. But I think there's a lot of people who are like, maybe like a little bit on the right, who are kind of open-minded, but when you use certain language, it does piss them off, and they're like, you know what, fuck you. You know, I think anytime people go, you know what, fuck you, the bridge is gone. The bridge has been burned. And look, we're not trying to do that with everybody, but like, you know, I think if you come to my comedy show, like, I'm gonna say shit, you know, hey, Mike, I've been doing some growing. I got some jokes about Palestine. You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
You know, but like I hope that, you know, you still had a good time. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's like a way to talk that, I don't know. I'm not saying like we have to listen to both sides. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't think we need to be doing that. But there's like a little things you can change in the way you talk that would piss off less people. And if we can save 10% more people, I think that's a win for the left.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I feel like there is like the internet makes it a lot easier to demonize like people and just to see people as like good or bad. And I think that's the language that probably is pushing everyone certain directions. Like I saw a TikTok that was like this because Japan's history, not great. Like we've had a lot of bad things. We've done a lot of bad things. But also we were
Finally,
born.
we're going to talk about it on the pod. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it. Like, so we weren't born then. Like we've been alive since like 89, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like, I saw these TikToks where like people are super angry about Japan's history, and I'm like, I get it. It is shitty. I agree. It was shitty. I don't know what you want. I ultimately am Japanese, and so like I don't know what you want from me to not be Japanese or like apologize, I guess, for like the atrocities of that time. I don't know. There's like an anger towards something that like cannot be resolved by like people who are born in the 80s and 90s.
Right,
if that
right,
makes
right,
sense.
I remember I talked to Mike about this when we first started the podcast, and I asked you what we're supposed to do, and I think you said we're just supposed to listen because they don't want you to do anything. You know? And you know what? Maybe this is help if there's any white people listening. This is the way I go through that shit, because like I do have Korean people say stuff sometimes. I always just remind myself like, you know, you're allowed to be angry, you know? You still came to my show, so you gave me money. Like I can't, you know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah, true.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I am mad. You know what I mean? But also like, I guess it's kind of like that thing where it's like, well, you know, my grandparents were not raped, so they can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just try to be like, well, I'm here. My dad was an engineer. We didn't move here with no money, like, because of those things, right? Because we were on the other side, because I happened to be born on the other side of the ocean, you know? So, like, I just let them rock. I'm like, do your thing, man. Like, get mad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's
your
okay.
thing, man.
Like,
Do your
please,
thing.
like, feel it, dude. Like, feel it feels like, you know, like, I'm down to talk. But I don't think they're, like, asking me personally to do anything. I used to think that when I was younger, but I think as I get older, I'm like, you're actually just asking me to like hear you out for a second, you know? And it's like,
Wait, so they come to your show and then they talk to
no,
you
people
about
online like say stuff sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's always like a stupid clip. Like I posted something recently where like you and I don't even know if you were in the clip. We were talking about how like there's common words between Japanese and Korean.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
And
this.
it's like a funny clip because like the word 30 minutes free massage is the same. And it's like a random sentence. So we're like, ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Huh.
And like SJ, I think it's SJ and Woody, and she's making jokes about like, oh, is it because Japanese people own Korea, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, we're being funny about it. But then people get mad serious in the comments, you know what I mean? But it's like,
Yeah.
let them rock, man. Do your thing. Get mad, dude. Let
Do your
them
thing.
rock.
No,
do your thing, man.
I agree with that. I'm like, yeah, of course, I whatever. But then I also see the people who react to that being pushed to a side where you're like,
Yes,
oh, I'm
but
innocent. Yeah.
But that's what's happening in Japanese politics right now. There's like the
Yeah, I
female
know.
prime minister, and like she ran on this platform of like foreigners are kicking her deer in Nara. That is what she ran on, and like, but it's an anti-immigration thing. And
Very
in
far
America, the rhetoric is immigrants are taking our jobs, immigrants are raping our women, they're criminals, they're killing Americans. In Japan,
What a-
it's like
what a-
in Japan,
what a-
it's like
yeah.
in Japan, it's like they're bad with trash and they're kicking
Yeah.
our animals.
Yeah.
Guilty.
yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
help it, bro.
That was just Mike,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
The number one thing I had to do, I was like, I'm kicking that deer in the ass.
Yeah.
Okay?
But that's a Mike specific thing, not all.
That's a Mike
foreigners.
specific thing. I'm literally.
But it is interesting. Like I do think like it's not just the black and white thing. Like to Jenny's
Totally.
point, like, it is happening in Asia. It's happening in any country that has beef. I think it's because you are born. You're the person yelling at you. You guys could have been classmates, and so it's like, well, I see what your point, but it's like I don't know. I don't know what they want. I don't know what I'm supposed to do sometimes, and But yeah, I guess like if I would hate to make someone more extreme, you know,
totally.
because of my reaction or because of the way they talk to me, you know. So I guess that's kind of what I think about when I do comedy. And you know, now that white people are back, we got to be more sensitive, and I think that's what I'm about.
They're back.
We got to be sensitive. All right. Well, Fumi, thank you for coming on. I wanted to ask you this as we come up to our time on this episode. You know, you were on this podcast. You left this podcast. You had another podcast. That podcast also failed. I want to know what advice do you have for us, you know, Jenny and I, as we move on, you know, into whatever we do. I'm probably moving upstate. Fuck this. Jenny though, still in the game. Still in the game.
We'll see if I'm still in the game. We'll see.
So
you know,
any advice for
I don't know that I have a like advice because like I'm trying to like bring my podcast back, but like I will say this. There'll be a brief period of time, maybe not brief, maybe 3 to 6 months where you're gonna be like, I love this time. I have so much time.
Yeah.
Let me write, let me read, let me go get brunch with my friends. You're gonna have this like honeymoon era of like, I don't have to be there 12 o'clock Saturdays. Like you're gonna have that. I don't have to edit. I don't have to talk to Patrick. You know, like shout out to Patrick, we love you, boy. But like
Shout
you know,
to
like
Patrick.
you will have that. But then like I always think, and I don't know if this is like relatable to you, Jenny, but like I think like, you know, I think part of comedy and comedy writing is like you do sometimes I consider podcasting like free writing, but it's like free talking. And a lot of shit comes out here. It's not always funny in the moment, but you're like thinking about stuff, you're saying stuff. And I do sometimes miss this medium, regardless of the downloads or how many tickets I'm selling, just as a place where me and my comedian friends can just like talk about stuff, think about stuff, challenge each other's opinions and stuff. Because I think I've written a lot of bits from just random things I've said on podcasts, and I don't really do it anymore. And I do miss that, like in a way, because I was watching this video of like John Mayer describes his like songwriting process. Have you seen that? You seen that? Okay, so it's kind of crazy. He just starts playing, and he's like, to write lyrics, he was like, you just gotta start singing. So he starts looking at the corner, and he's just singing about the corner of the wall. He's like, that's a wall, it's a corner, and it's black. He just starts singing, and then he's like, you'll hear a word that fits with that chord, like, and you're like, okay, cool, that word goes there, and you write around it, you know. And I think podcasting can sometimes be like that. I'm not saying you're getting gold every time, but like, you know, it's just like another way to stimulate your brain and think about comedy, think about the world. Yeah. And I think that makes you a better comedian, makes you a better writer, makes you a better performer. So like, I do miss that. So enjoy your little vacation, but I'll see you guys on the podcast platform next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
6 months in, we're going to be back, baby.
We're going to be exactly back. I talk about it all the time. I honestly do. I talk to ChatGPT. The other day, I have to say, ChatGPT, man, I was like...
You talked about bringing up the podcast to ChatGPT.
No, what I did was I asked ChatGPT, this is true. I asked ChatGPT, I was like, why am I such a dumbass? I put that into the first line. And it was so nice to me, and it even was like, this is what's happening. It was like, you know, it's like a lot of stuff that I've heard before. This is negative self-talk. You're, you know, catastrophizing things. You know, you need to think about this, blah blah blah. You think about all the context, and there's like this little thing, and like it even named, because like, you know, you can name the chats that it has, and then like named it for me, and named it like negative self-talk reframing, and I was like, this is the nicest shit I've ever heard. We are cooked. None of my friends would ever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't call him. I got ChatGPT to do this, okay? I don't need you, Fumi. I don't need you, Jenny. Get out of here. I got
You don't need
new
that
friends.
Vietnamese audience who hates you.
I don't need a Vietnamese audience
Who hates you in your
I don't
dreams.
need any support from my ancestors, okay? I got something better. I got... anyways, okay. Well, Fumi, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Where can our fans find you? What are you up to? You got some stuff closing. This is the next episode that will come out, but it won't come out until I think not Monday, the following Monday. So what is that? December 8th, I think.
December 8th. Let me see when that is. Okay, well, thanks for having me. I'm still on tour, kind of wrapping up. Oh, December 8th? Okay, cool. I have 2 dates left on my tour. It's San Jose. Well, it's technically Sunnyvale, but nobody knows what that is, so I'm saying San Jose. And Vancouver. San Jose, I'll be there December 11th to 14th. And Vancouver, I'm there January 10th. Vancouver's like almost sold out, so get those tickets now at fumiabe.com. Follow me on social media. Also, I'm trying to bring back my personal finance podcast. There was some drama, so I have to rebrand it. Working title is Salary Boy, but it's basically a funny personal podcast, and we look through your credit card statements and trying to, you know, I'm gonna try to take advantage of this white space opportunity you guys are creating. You know, there's not gonna be a podcast. So if you're fans of me, follow me on YouTube, all that shit, man.
100%. Yeah, there are dozens of followers ready to be transferred over. So, you can find us on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod. I'm also on there at Nice Pants Bro.
Oh, I'm at Jenny Arimoto.
And I believe this will come out in time for our last Hack City show. Let me just make sure the date on that. That's going to be oh god.
I think it's December 12th.
December 12th, Friday, December 12th. That's at Union Hall. Hopefully they'll give us the slot back and we continue doing it. Otherwise, I've quit comedy. That's it. The last string has been cut.
Yeah.
And I'm free. And I can move to I don't know, New Paltz and just be I don't know, make cowboy boots. I have no idea.
Make honey.
Make honey. In the meantime, thank you very much for everything, Fumi. Thank you again as always. It's been real, man. You know, having you on the show, having us do this. Fucking, we used to like sit and like make stupid sketches.
The coffee shop that got destroyed by a car accident. Yeah, do you remember that? That coffee
that was
shop?
destroyed by a car accident. Yeah,
we could have died.
We should have been in that. We should have been there. We weren't supposed to be here.
It's really crazy. You guys have done like such an amazing job, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think it started from we used to write sketches about like ninjas at the office, and then now we're talking about Simu Liu for 1,000 people. It's amazing.
It is. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening, everybody, and we'll see you again.
Yes,
we'll see you again. Okay, bye.
Bye.